Oh, man. All right. I have been a fan of these things for so long, and Chris brought it up on Twitter, and I saw it that it was coming out, and so I was like, I got to talk about this, see who else would be interested. Arcade1Up. They remake these small cabinets, arcade cabinets, and then they sell these risers that kind of make them regular height. And they are coming out with a Simpsons one, and it looks awesome. Oh, man. Walmart sells these things. It's for pre-sale right now. It's $530 with the riser. But they have a Miss Pac-Man that's $270 with the riser. I mean, that is nothing. It's coming from a guy who went and bought a cabinet, bought the innards to like make an arcade machine. I mean, it can get to be very, very expensive. I think these things usually launch. They used to launch at $400 when they were first coming out, if my memory serves. It looks like they're launching now more around the $550. But they did Outrun a couple months ago. It's a car game, and you can set up the riser to where you sit on it, and so you're sitting and playing instead of standing and playing. They've got NBA Jam. They've got just all these old retro ones. But the Simpsons one, for some reason, this caught me off guard, and it just looks so good. Now, they're not arcade size. That's the one thing that I think people have to realize. It's not like you're bringing the Simpsons 4-player thing all home. They are the smaller version, but I think they've done so good with these things. I have no idea what the licensing headache is behind the scenes, but I'm so glad Arcade1Up exists, and I'm so glad they're doing this. Chris, like, I don't have the space. I have no place to put something like this. I wish I did. If I didn't have this big vocal booth in here, then I'd probably dabble back into doing this since I sold my actual arcade cabinet. How close have you ever been to getting one of these Arcade1Ups?
I've never seriously considered any of them. And honestly, to be completely frank, I've never really looked that closely into them just because I'm the same way. I'm like, realistically, I'm not, where am I going to put that? And even more so now because I'm in a smaller place than I was before. And, you know, like we've talked about here before and like most people that are probably in our community, I went to arcades as a kid. I played a ton of games. I was never like super into the arcade stuff. Like I didn't just live and eat and breathe the arcade, but I definitely went. But anytime that I went to an arcade, I would play Street Fighter and I would play Mortal Kombat because they were like the staples, but I was never super great at them, so my time was going to be limited. I wasn't going to continue playing those. But the ones that I always was going to play before I left, if it was there, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons. I was always going to play those two games. So when I saw this one, and I don't even know, I could have totally missed it. There might be a Ninja Turtles version of this one, but this, just when looking at it, and when you, like you were saying, when it's on the stand, so it's raised, so it's at least a little more akin to, you know, what you would see when you were in the arcades back in the day, or if you go to one now. I was like, man, it would be really cramped, but it would look really good right there. I would really like to have that just sitting right there.
That's what I'm saying. They do have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, just to throw that out there.
Ooh.
They have got a Marvel vs. Capcom. They've got Midway Legacies. They've got Pac-Man, like a 12-in-1. I mean, I've come so close to buying one of these, but again, my wife just had me get rid of one. I mean, she just glorified in me getting rid of the one I had. But I did have a full size one, so it's not quite like having one of these small guys. Router, Ed, you guys ever see these and think?
I never do.
Yeah.
No, I kind of the same as Chris. I think I'd rather just sit in a chair and play it on the PlayStation or the Xbox.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
and you know, they look cool, and when people have them, I think it's cool. But for my own place, I never really considered it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Ed. I think, I mean, I would have a place for it. It would be hidden up here because Lauren wouldn't have it at all. But yeah, I think I would like play it a couple times, and then the novelty wears off, and I go back to just playing on the consoles and be done with it.
Right. Yeah. The one thing I think I probably won't ever have another stand-up cabinet, but one thing that I do want to accrue some point is one of those cocktail kits where it's like the table.
Yes,
it's the Pac-Man where you sit at it. You know, you would eat your pizza on it. I think I would try to get one of those at some point.
Yeah,
because I do
that I could see.
This like so nostalgic, and it can act as a table, and people can still play Pac-Man on it. I think it would be really.
You
good.
order Pizza Hut.
Exactly. Oh, Chris, what else you got, doggy?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this Ninja Turtle cabinet. I was like, where's my story? Where's my story?
Doesn't it look so good?
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, you can make it work, man.
I was going to say, this is Chris's number crunching face right here.
I know.
No,
They're not that big.
Other numbers, I can't. Yeah. That's the one thing is that
it's just size.
Again, there's this one picture where there's these two people kind of standing near one. I have to assume that they're average size adults because it's not a full size picture. I do wish I could see one in person because I've never seen one. So I mean, I'm a smaller
They're
person,
small.
but I'm curious. I really want to see one and see what it's like. Because if it's one of those things, even for me as a small person, it's awkward to play it. It's like, well, then it really doesn't make any sense.
Well, the Simpsons one, what's interesting about that is I would think that like a 2-player might get a little close, but like the way that the 4 fans out, you know what I'm saying? You might be able to play it without really having to worry about that. You should definitely get one.